What's up, y'all? This is John Joseph with Brick Rabbit P and PDT. Today I wanted to talk about a training concept. I just read something very interesting. How the athletic competitions have changed drastically in just the past maybe decade or past few years. If you're watching any of my videos or anything, you'll see that it has changed. The science has gotten a lot better. And so things like physical therapy, personal training are improving a lot right now. Improved a lot just recently. But today what I wanted to talk about specifically is resistance training, because people want to be bigger, faster, stronger. That's a pretty big thing for people. Now in athletic competition, you're going to be bigger, faster, stronger, and leaner as well. So in terms of the variables with resistance training, you have specificity, overload, variation, individualization, as well as adaptation. Okay, so these are all important things to make sure they are properly progressed through in order to prevent injury and, of course, to prevent overtraining. So I'll go over them briefly, just so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. Specificity has to do with mechanical, neurological, and the metabolism. And it's often called the SAID principle, or specific adaptation to impose demands. And in terms of the different portions of specificity, when it comes to the muscles, that's more in terms of what you do with volume. But in terms of the brain, because the human movement system is made up of three components, right? The neuro, skeletal, musculo, right, system. And the neurological portion responds a lot more to intensity. Okay? And then obviously we need, energy to work out, so that's what metabolism is about. I have a video on the principle of progressive overload if you'd like to watch that. And I've mentioned many times before how important variation is. Variation is changing your exercises so you don't get synergistic dominance, which is when synergistic muscles, which there are a lot of them across our body, take over for prime movers, which are big muscles that are supposed to be doing the work. So that's why it's important to have variation. In terms of individualization, don't compare yourself to others, or you can, but the most important thing is how you progress, not how you compare to other people. That's the reality of it. And in terms of adaptation, that's called the GAS principle. This is how we prevent overtraining. So if we notice somebody has an alarm stage, so their performance drops, and then it goes back up. That's what the GAS principle is. General adaptation syndrome. So in terms of adaptation, it's really important to watch the athlete, competitor, fitness enthusiast, wherever you are, to make sure that they don't go into overtraining, which is when their performance starts to drop off, their heart rate goes up from the cortisol and the stress, and the performance goes down. So we have the initial alarm stage, the performance dips a little bit because your body kind of goes into shock when you start something new, and then the performance goes up. We just want it to keep going up. But we just don't want to see it drop off like that, because if your performance is going up right over time and then drops off, and you're training right, it's probably because of overtraining. And one easy way to figure that out is look at your heart rate. If your heart rate is going up rather than down, you're probably overtraining. So if I start out with a heart rate of 60 beats per minute while I'm resting, and then it's 70 or 80 beats per minute while resting, the next day after a really hard workout, right, where I push myself just way too hard, it's an indicator that the cortisol levels have risen, which is a catabolic hormone. So it raises your heart rate, it destroys tissue, and it decreases performance. So those are the basic important principles behind resistance training. Take those into mind in the gym, and essentially you'll be set. Another thing I'll keep talking about is the OPT model. I'll post a video on the 6 stages. I used to use 5 stages, but there are 6 stages if you are looking into performance enhancement rather than just maybe training in general, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And stay safe out there, work out safe.